What is currently happening in Israel will mark the end of this evil world. Jesus will return to this earth, which will happen only after the third temple is built. The history of the third temple is full of destruction, and the idea of the third temple holds a special place in the Jewish tradition, as it will be the second coming of Jesus and will mark the return of Jews to their home after a long exile. There are different beliefs. Some say that Messiah will come after the temple is built. A few other people say that Messiah will build the temple himself. And others say that the temple will descend from heaven. And while there may be a difference in opinion on how the temple will become a physical reality, both Christians and Jewish people agree that there will be a third temple. The first temple was built by Solomon, son of King David. And even though historians deny the existence of the temple, those who believe in Jesus know that the temple existed, and it existed in Jerusalem. King David, the father of Solomon, wanted to build the first temple a generation earlier. He wanted to offer a permanent resting place for the Ark of the Covenant, which contained the Ten Commandments. But his wish was denied by God himself. According to a divine edict, God didn't want King David to build a temple. He said, "You will not build a house for my name." God also told the reason, "For you are a man of battles and have shed blood." But the son of King David, Solomon, was permitted to build the temple. God said, "Behold, a son will be born to you, who shall be a man of rest, and I will give him rest from all his enemies on every side. For his name shall be Solomon, and I will give peace and quiet to Israel in his days. He shall build a house for my name, and he shall be my son, and I will be his father. And I will establish the throne of his kingdom over Israel forever." And once again, the prophecy was indeed fulfilled, and Solomon was born to King David, and the temple that was built by Solomon was known as Solomon's Temple. Solomon's Temple, also called the First Temple, was completed in 957 BC and was built on the exact same spot where God created the first man, Adam. But the temple met its fate in 587 BC, after standing strong for almost 400 years, and it was seen as the fulfillment of the prophecies that can be found in the book of Jeremiah, specifically in chapters 7 and 26. Jeremiah was a prophet who warned of the impending destruction of Jerusalem and the temple due to the people's disobedience to God's commands. In Jeremiah 26:6-9, Jeremiah speaks about the destruction of the temple, saying, "Then I will make this house like Shiloh, and I will make this city a curse for all the nations of the earth." And these prophecies were fulfilled when the Babylonians, led by King Nebuchadnezzar, captured Jerusalem, destroyed the temple, and exiled a significant portion of the population to Babylon in 586 BC. It is also believed in Jewish tradition that the first temple was destroyed on Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of Av, the same date as the destruction of the second temple. The exile of the Jews was the fulfillment of yet another prophecy that can be found in the book of Jeremiah. The exile is a fulfillment of the warnings and prophecies given by various prophets in the Hebrew Bible, including Jeremiah and Ezekiel. Once again, as the prophecy told, Jews returned to Israel after 70 years, and they started building the second temple. The second temple, also known as Herod's temple, was reconstructed at the exact same place as the first temple. It is believed that the construction of this temple began sometime after the Achaemenid Persian Empire conquered the Neo-Babylonian Empire. It followed a proclamation by Persian King Cyrus the Great through his edict that ended the Babylonian captivity and initiated the return to Zion. The second temple, when compared to the grandeur of Solomon's first temple, was more modest in size and design. It is said that some who had witnessed the first temple's splendor wept upon seeing the second temple's foundation due to the contrast. It is said that before getting destroyed completely, the second temple was partially destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD during the First Jewish-Roman War. After this, Herod the Great initiated a massive reconstruction and expansion project around 20 BC. The second temple is also known as Herod's Temple because Herod the Great's reconstruction transformed the temple into a monumental structure with intricate stonework and gold decorations. The Western Wall, also known as the Wailing Wall, is a remnant of the retaining wall Herod built to support the enlarged platform on which the temple stood. But the Second Temple also met its fate when it was destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD under the command of Titus during the First Jewish-Roman War. Over the centuries, specifically in the 7th century, Muslim forces led by Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab captured Jerusalem from the Byzantines. Historians believe that the mosque was built between 685 AD to 715 AD, and around 714 AD, Jerusalem experienced earthquakes that destroyed the eastern portion of the mosque, but it was rebuilt. Nonetheless, another earthquake in 746 AD demolished much of Al-Aqsa. In 780 AD, the Abbasid Caliph al-Mahdi restored the mosque to its former glory. Yet another earthquake caused serious destruction in 1033, but it was rebuilt shortly thereafter, and that's how the Al-Aqsa Mosque was built on the southern end of the Temple Mount, around the late 7th or early 8th century. Today, the Temple Mount is a site of immense religious importance to both Muslims and Jews. For Muslims, the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock hold deep spiritual significance as the third holiest site in Islam. It is believed to be where the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven during the night journey. For Jews, the Temple Mount is the holiest site due to its historical connection to the First and Second Temples, and some religious groups express hope for constructing a third temple there, which will start the Messianic age. And what happened in Israel is going to change everything. The new Israeli government formed last December is going to be a major step in the direction of building the third temple. Benjamin Netanyahu, newly elected Prime Minister of Israel, heads a government comprised of a hardline religious ultra-nationalist party dominated by West Bank settlers, two ultra-Orthodox parties, and his nationalist Likud party. Netanyahu is a pro-Jewish, and this is evident from what his government published on its platform. The platform says that the Jewish people have exclusive and indisputable rights over the entirety of Israel and the Palestinian territories, and will advance settlement construction in the occupied West Bank. The West Bank is a territory located between Israel and Jordan. It includes East Jerusalem, which contains the Old City, including the Temple Mount, which is a site of immense religious significance to both Jews and Muslims. In short, Netanyahu's cabinet has promised to expand settlements in the occupied West Bank and pursue other anti-Palestinian policies. In addition to this, it is also said that the allies of Netanyahu have donated to the groups pushing hard for the Third Temple, and one such group is the Temple Institute. The Temple Institute is an organization whose aim is to rebuild the Third Temple on the Temple Mount and to reinstate animal sacrificial worship. The Institute aspires to achieve this goal, and for that, they have gone through the study of temple construction and ritual, and through the development of actual temple ritual objects, garments, and building plans suitable for immediate use in the event conditions permit its reconstruction. They affirm, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem is the only site in the world that is considered holy by the Jewish people, and the only site in the world which GD chose to rest his presence through the establishment of the Holy Temple. The Institute also runs an exhibition to rekindle the flame of the Holy Temple in the hearts of mankind. They have started preparing for the reconstruction of the Third Temple. After studying the religious scriptures intensely, the Institute has begun to restore and construct the sacred vessels for the service of the Holy Temple. These vessels, which can be seen at their exhibition as well, are made according to the exact specifications of the Bible and have been constructed from the original source materials, such as gold, copper, silver, and wood. According to the Institute, the vessels made are authentic and accurate vessels, and not merely replicas or models. The items made by the Institute are fit and ready for use in the service of the Holy Temple. They have also successfully created three most important and central vessels of the divine service: the seven-branched candelabra, or menorah, made of pure gold, the golden incense altar, and the golden table of the showbread. In addition to a variety of items required for service within the temple, the Institute has attempted to locate a para aduma, red heifer, consistent with the requirements of Numbers 19:1-22 and Mishnah Tractate Para for purposes of purification necessary to enter the temple sanctuary proper in most circumstances. And even though the Institute has all the essentials needed, today, the reconstruction of the Third Temple has not even started because of a variety of problems. From historians not finding any evidence supporting the existence of the previous two temples, the claim of Muslims on the Temple Mount, to differences of opinion among the Jewish community. But no matter what challenges may present themselves in front of the Institute, Rabbi Israel Ariel, head of the Temple Institute, has no doubt that a solution will be found. As of today, the Institute has reconstructed 38 of the 103 ritual implements required for bringing sacrifices to the temple. Rabbi Israel Ariel says, "We believe that a temple will arise despite all the problems. It is the force that unites the Jewish people." In addition to this, the Israeli government is also becoming active in the effort. Last month, the Religious Affairs Ministry sponsored the first ever Conference of Temple Research, which is a great initiative in itself. And this tells us that today, many prophecies have come to reality. From the drying up of the Euphrates River to the opening of the Pool of Siloam in Jerusalem after 2,000 years, and now is the time for Jesus to come, and it is the truth.